satisfied? Have you got what you wanted?
Yates, get Dr. Miller. Get these gates open. I want all the prisoners locked in their cells. I want Doyle in solitary.
Dr. Miller, Bill Jackson's been stabbed.
How bad is he?
I don't know.
Well, is he conscious?
I don't know. Can't you go and see for yourself? He's lying near the main security gates on the first floor.
Don't worry, Rosie. I'm not going anywhere. Sister, I can't leave, Rosie. You're just going to have to do what you can for Bill. Hey, where are you going?
Well,
I'm going to need your help here.
I've never delivered a baby.
Yeah, well, now's your chance to learn. Oh, God.
Hold on, Bill. I'll try and make you more comfortable.
Don't move him. Has anybody called an ambulance?
Where's Greg?
He's with Rosie. It's a breech birth.
He should be here!
It's all right, Vic. Can't you do anything about these damn things?
Yes, well, I have to come out before he can be moved. It's going to hurt.
They're all locked up except Marilyn Mason. We can't find her. Do you know where she is?
She's in the recreation room.
Go and get her. Right. You'd better leave. And if word of this leaks out, we'll be looking for a new electrical contractor. Understand?
Yeah.
There. Now, try not to move too much. If this pressure pad moves, you could bleed to death before the ambulance gets here.
Made a bit of a mess of rescuing you, didn't I? I should have left it to the experts.
What experts? None of us are trained to handle situations like this. We ought to have some sort of emergency procedure.
Don't start that again.
I'm sorry.
I tried to ring Marty earlier. There was no reply.
I'll phone from the hospital. You just rest.
I didn't think it'd end like this, Bea.
Well, what do you expect? I told you what would happen if you let Frankie take over, but oh no. You couldn't even stay away from her from the short time I was out, could you?
It wasn't only my fault.
Yeah, wait until I get my hands on the bitches that helped Frankie. If the cops are going to hang around and make my life a misery, it's going to be a damn sight more miserable for them.
Come on, get in.
And where have you been, as if I didn't know?
Have you been with Eddie?
Yeah. Well, I hope you made the most of it. They won't be letting him in here for a while.
Why not? Bill Jackson got stabbed.
Who by?
Don't know.
No, but I intend to find out.
Well, how bad is he?
How the hell should I know?
Wentworth Detention Centre.
Could I speak to Bill Jackson, please?
Just a moment, please. It's someone asking for Bill Jackson. What'll I say?
I'll take it.
I'm afraid Mr. Jackson's unavailable at the moment. Could I take a message?
No. No, it's all right. I'll call back later.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Brooks.
Good afternoon.
You haven't forgotten the rent's due tomorrow, have you?
No. No, I haven't forgotten.
Did you find Mason? Yes, she's locked away. If you ask me, I think she and that electrician have been having a high old time together.
That's the least of my worries at the moment. I want everybody confined to their rooms until the police have had a chance to question them.
Do you think we should involve the police?
A man has been stabbed.
Well, I'm only thinking of the publicity.
Yes, well, if I'd thought a little less about the publicity earlier on, maybe none of this would have happened.
Did Bill get off to hospital safely?
Yes.
You better call the gate. Tell them to expect another ambulance.
What now?
Rosie's had a boy. It's at least a month premature. It's going to need specialist treatment.
Are they going to be all right?
Oh, they're going to be fine. Miss Yates, however, is a little bit shaky. She could probably use a cup of tea.
Oh, I could use something a bit stronger than that. Delivering babies isn't exactly my line.
Mrs. Davidson, it was the hospital. Bill Jackson's dead.
Meg, I know you're in there. I went to the hospital, but you'd already left.
You're a little late.
Meg, those scissors pierced Bill's lung. If I'd rushed straight to him, there's nothing I could have done.
Could have at least tried.
If I'd left Rosie, both she and the baby might have died.
So what? Do you think that little crim is more important than my husband?
Meg, you can't mean that. Where's Marty?
I don't know.
Does he know about his father?
Well, how can I tell him if he's not here? Come home when he's ready. If he wants to.
Look, would you like me to give you something to help you sleep?
You don't have to drug me. I'm not one of the prisoners. Look, would you please leave? It's too late. There's nothing you can do now.
Just don't think you should be left alone, that's all.
What do you think I'm going to do? Kill myself?
Of course not.
Then leave.
Look, Meg, for heaven's sake.
Where have you been?
What's it to you?
Don't you dare speak to me like that, young man. You're getting too big for your boots.
Yeah, well, isn't it about time you stopped treating me like a child?
What are you if you're not a child?
I'm nearly 17, for God's sake.
Marty, there was a riot at the prison today. Your father got stabbed by one of the girls. He died about an hour ago, Marty. Sorry. Don't you think you should go to him?
Will you please leave?
Bill Jackson's dead! Bill Jackson's dead! Bill Jackson's dead! Bill Jackson's dead! Quiet! I'm warning you. I wish you'd join him, Vera! Come on, get inside.
What's going on?
Everyone actively involved in the riot is confined to their cells until the police have interviewed them. We don't want you all getting together and making up lies.
I wasn't involved.
You were there. You stayed with Doyle and ignored my order to leave the dining room. From what I hear, you had an argument with Bill Jackson yesterday morning.
What the hell are you implying? That I stabbed him?
Well, it wouldn't be the first time that you'd stabbed someone, would it?
Don't tell her
Stop
anything.
whispering, Anderson.
That's right, no need to whisper. Thanks for the advice, Doreen.
You think you're getting pretty tough, don't you? Any more lip and you'll be in solitary.
Where do you think I am now?
Well, if you would prefer it, I could put you in with your friend Frankie. Outside. Just sit there, nice and quiet, until the police want to interview you.
Come in.
Find anything?
Nope. Was he popular?
Very. He helped a lot of the women here.
Well, he seems to have made one enemy. I don't think we're going to learn much from this lot. Take it out of the station, go through it there. Give us a ring if you find anything. Well, perhaps we can start by you telling me what you know.
Not much, I'm afraid. There was a riot. We followed the normal procedure, locked the security gates and waited for them to calm down. Unfortunately, a group of prisoners grabbed one of the officers and were holding her hostage. Bill went in to try to get her out.
As a psychologist, I wouldn't have thought that was his job.
The officer was his wife, Meg Jackson.
I see.
I've made a list of the group of prisoners. They were the only ones close enough to have stabbed Bill.
Thanks. There's more than a dozen names here. Still, it's a start. What sparked the riot?
Some of the prisoners refused to leave the dining room after lunch.
Lunch? But Jackson was stabbed at 4 p.m. Was his wife held captive all that time?
Yes.
Well, did you make any attempt to get her out? Call in outside help?
No.
Why not?
Oh, well, you know what it's like, Jack. The slightest whisper of a riot and the press are onto it. Public opinion is pretty sensitive at the moment. I didn't want any publicity. Besides, I didn't think she was in any danger. It was a personal feud between two of the women. There are tensions like that in any prison. I had no reason to believe Meg was going to come to any harm. I didn't know it was going to end like that.
Yes, well, it's often difficult to know what's best to do in a situation like that. Well, perhaps we'll start by questioning these women. Who's this first one, Lynn Warner?
She first drew attention to the stabbing.
What's she in for?
Child kidnapping. You remember the Bentley case?
Oh, yeah, the kid's nanny. Could you have her brought in here?
You're not going to conduct the inquiries from here.
If you don't mind. It might make the murderer nervous to be in the dead man's room. That is, if it won't upset the widow too much.
No, we're not expecting her in today.
Don't let it get cold now. You all right? Couldn't have got a wink of sleep last night. I heard you pacing up and down.
You couldn't have slept much either if you were listening to me.
Mum, I'm sorry. I didn't know what had happened when I walked in last night.
I know you couldn't have.
Don't shut me out, Mum.
I'm sorry. I just feel so empty. I can't believe it's happened. And why would they want to kill him? He works so hard for them.
I know. I'm not going to school today.
No, I want you to go.
I won't leave you here on your own.
Will you do as you're told?
Thank you, Miss H. Could you wait outside, please? Sit down, Lynn. This is Detective Sergeant Allen. He wants to ask you a few questions about the murder of Mr. Jackson.
I've got nothing to say.
That attitude's not going to help you, young lady.
Why should I say anything? No one will believe me anyway. I'm innocent. No one believes me.
It'll go much better for you in the long run if you cooperate.
Will it affect my appeal?
Lynn is appealing against her sentence. She claims she is innocent.
I am innocent.
This inquiry's got nothing to do with your case.
Then I've nothing to say.
Do you want whoever did this to get away with it? Aren't you interested in seeing justice done?
Nobody else is.
Miss Warner, I don't think you realize how serious this is. It's an offense to hinder the police in their investigations. And you're a prime suspect in a murder case.
That's right. This is something else you can blame on me, is it?
Bring in the next one.
Miss Yates, take her back to her cell.
Right. Oh, by the way, Eddie Cook's outside. You said you wanted to see him when he arrived.
Right.
Eddie?
Eddie Cook, the electrician. He was trapped in the prison during the riot.
With the rioters?
No, in another wing.
Well, let him wait. I want to talk to those directly concerned first.
The police will talk to you later.
Well, when?
When they're ready. Just wait there.
What are you doing here?
Well, they came to fix the wiring. I didn't get much chance yesterday. It's not funny, Marilyn. When I got here this morning, they told me that bloke was dead. Now the cops want to talk to me.
Why you?
Because I was there. Marilyn, I saw who did it.
You haven't told anyone, have you?
No, not yet.
Well, don't, Eddie.
Why not?
It'll be taken care of inside here.
Oh, I don't know, Marilyn. The cops might get nasty if I hold out on them.
They won't know who did it.
What's going on here? Didn't you two see enough of each other yesterday? Get back to work. I've already had a word to the governor about you.
Hello, you looking for me? I'm running a bit late, I'm afraid. I stopped off at the hospital to see Rosie.
There's no rush. There'll be no sick call until the police have finished their inquiries. And they'll probably want a word with you later.
There's nothing I can tell them. Wish there was.
Perhaps you might know of one of the girls who had a grudge against him.
No. Any mail?
Karen Travers, for example.
I don't think she could have done it.
Why not?
Well, I just don't think she's the type, that's all.
Well, that's a strange thing to say. She's already stabbed her husband.
Oh, that was different. She had provocation. You saw the burns on her back.
Do you mean murder sometimes justified?
Look, if you're having a go at me, I don't see what's so damn funny about this whole matter. Meg, what are you doing here?
I'm on duty.
You look terrible. You should be at home resting.
Too much to do. We're short-staffed enough as it is. Somebody's got to look after the animals.
You're not being very cooperative, are you, Frida?
Frankie.
Frankie. You realise that even if we can't prove that you stabbed him, there's still the possible charge of accessory to murder?
Oh, what? Now, look, I had nothing to do with it. All I wanted was to get even with B. Smith. I had nothing against Bill. He's not my type.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, well, it's obvious, isn't it? Why would any woman in here kill a bloke? Because she can't have him.
What are you talking about?
How should I know? Could be any one of them. Apart from the pommy doctor, Bill was the only bloke any of them ever saw.
I'll get it.
Well, you must have some idea who did it.
I've told you all I know.
Meg, we weren't expecting you in today.
I'm rostered on duty.
Detective Sergeant Ellen, this is Meg Jackson.
Mrs. Jackson, I'm sorry about what's happened. I'm afraid so far we've not much to go on.
You're not likely to get much either. They'll all stick together.
They haven't had a chance to confer. They've all been locked in their dormitories during the investigation.
What difference does that make?
Yes, you're probably right. There's no point in disrupting the prison routine any further. This could take days. You can release them if you like.
Very well.
I'd like to speak to you, if I may, Mrs. Jackson.
Miss Yates, take Doyle back to solitary.
Come on.
I'll get the other girls released. I'll be back later.
As far as we can ascertain, this is a list of all those directly involved in the riot, those that held you captive and had the opportunity to kill your husband. Are there any names you can add?
No.
Well, have you any idea which of them was responsible?
As far as I'm concerned, they all were.
Come on, out you come.
What's going on?
You're going back to work.
But what about the police?
Don't worry, they'll get around to you. Although, if you ask me, they'll be wasting their time.
Of course. I don't know anything.
You wouldn't tell them if you did.
No. When I find out, they won't need the police to deal with it. And that goes for the rest of them that ganged up with Frankie against me.
Don't look at me. I was only having a bit of fun.
Yeah? Well, now it's my turn.
Look, you lot are in enough trouble already, Smith. Don't make things any worse. Now get to work. Both of you! Get on with your work.
Well, you gonna stand there all day?
You can't be trusted on your own, can you?
All right, someone give me something to work on. found out anything yet?
No.
I know who did it.
Who? Did you see it?
No, not exactly. But before we went into lunch yesterday, she had a big row with Frankie. She picked up the scissors then. Doreen, you were there. You saw her.
Yeah. That's right.
Well, why would she want to stab Bill Jackson?
I don't know. Probably to cause trouble. You know what she's like. She killed her old man.
Yeah, well, some husbands deserve it.
What's going on over there?
Oh, we were just helping Bea with these sheep.
Well, it doesn't take three of you to do that. Now you get back to work.
Mrs. Jackson, we're really sorry about Bill.
Not half as sorry as you're going to be. Now you listen to me. I want the name of the woman who killed my husband. All right. Well, I'll find out who did it. And from now on, I'm going to make life hell for the lot of you. Move!
Right.
Eddie saw who did it. He'll know if it was her. Where's Eddie now? Waiting to talk to the police. I told him not to say anything.
Let's hope he doesn't.
Come in, Mr. Cook. Detective Sergeant Allen, this is Eddie Cook, the electrician.
Took your time seeing me, didn't you?
I don't want any lip out of you, Cook. There's a few questions you need to answer.
Yeah, well, I haven't done anything.
That's what I mean. Now, sit down. My men have taken a look at those fuses you had to fix yesterday. It wouldn't have taken you more than 2 minutes to put them right.
Yeah, well, I must have overlooked it, you know. I thought the wiring had gone. The whole place needs rewiring. You just have to check it every time, that's all. Well, I wouldn't have any other reason to stick around, would I?
That's what we're here to find out. Where were you during the riot?
In the recreation room.
Alone? I asked if you were alone.
No, I was with Marilyn Mason, actually. She was keeping me out of the way of the riot.
Yeah, I arrested Marilyn Mason the last time she was brought in. I can imagine what she was doing. You were there when Bill Jackson was stabbed.
Yeah. Well, everything had gone quiet and I thought the riot was over, so I went and had a look.
Then what happened?
Well, suddenly all hell broke loose. Women charging everywhere. It was bloody scary, I'll tell you.
Did you see who stabbed him?
No. Well, I was right down the other end of the corridor. There were loads of women between me and him.
All right. That'll do for now.
You mean I can go?
Unless you've got anything further to say.
No. Right, well, I'll get back to fixing that fuse.
That won't be necessary. It's already been attended to. I'll be speaking to your employer later.
Right.
You were a bit hard on him.
Yeah, well, if it stops him mixing with the like of Marilyn Mason, it'll be worth it. He seems a decent sort of a lad. I take it he hasn't got any record.
He wouldn't be working here if he had.
I don't suppose I could talk to Marilyn Mason, could I?
Have you talked to the police yet?
Yeah.
Then you can go.
You've been talking to that cop.
Yeah.
What did you tell him?
Nothing.
Good. Now you can tell us. Who killed Bill Jackson?
Oh, come on, Bea. I'm not going to be pushed around by a load of women.
Well, you took your time.
Oh, yeah, there's a message for you from Mrs. Davidson. She wants to see you in the office.
What about?
I don't know.
Who gave you the message?
Miss Yates.
All right. I want everybody back at work and nobody leaves this laundry. Understood?
Did you see Eddie?
Yeah.
Did he tell you who did it?
After a bit of persuasion?
But you didn't hurt him.
Of course not. You. Outside.
Why?
You don't want to get involved, do you?
Here, look. Leave me alone. I haven't done anything. Bea, I wasn't siding with Frankie against you. I was just bored.
We're not interested in what side you're on. We're interested in Bill Jackson.
I told you she did it. I saw her pick up the scissors.
That's probably what gave you the idea to use them. Unfortunately for you, Marilyn's boyfriend saw you.
But he must have made a mistake. There were loads of women milling around. It could have been any of them.
And he wasn't mistaken. He was quite positive. Now, we're not having the police hanging around making everyone's life a bloody misery. You just own up. Or we'll make you wish you'd never been born.
Come in.
Wanted to see me?
No, what made you think that?
Blast!
Meg, wait. Who told you I wanted to see you?
One of the girls. Another of their funny little jokes.
Who was it?
Doesn't matter. I can handle it.
Can you? Meg, I know what you must be going through, losing Bill like that, but don't try and cope with everything alone. We're all going to miss him. He was a good man.
Yes, too good for this lot. They didn't deserve him. He could have had a safe, well-paid job in industry. He should have quit long ago. We both should have.
Well, if you feel like that, you still can. I'd understand.
No.
Well, at least take a few days off. It'll give us time to find out who did it.
Oh, you'll never find out. Nobody's going to talk. They're all in it together.
You know that's not true.
Isn't it? Then why didn't anybody come forward? You think they don't know who did it? Of course they do. It's a case of us against them. I realise that now. I'm on my own.
You're forgetting Marty.
Marty? He's hardly ever home these days. Always out. With God knows who. He doesn't need me.
Marty! You trying to avoid me?
No.
Well, I waited for you during the morning break. Marty, you did talk to your parents about leaving home, didn't you?
No.
Why not?
I couldn't. I know my father's dead. One of the prisoners stabbed him. While we were discussing getting a flat together, he was dying.
Oh, Marty, how awful. Oh, I don't know what to say. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I suppose I should have told you earlier. I couldn't. I didn't even want to come into school today. I wanted to stay home with Mum.
Well, why didn't you?
She wouldn't let me. She didn't even want to talk to me. She just cut herself off.
Yeah, that's probably the shock. Look, do you think it would help any if I came home with you this afternoon and spoke to her?
I doubt it.
Well, we could try.
Yeah, I suppose.
What's going on here? Shouldn't you be in class, Jackson? I'll have to have a word with your parents if this keeps up.
Oh, but sir...
It's all right, Donna.
Why didn't you tell him?
Look, everybody will know soon enough.
Mrs. Brooks, the rent is due today.
Yes, I hadn't forgotten. I'm just on my way to the post office.
Oh, good-o. Not that I worry about it, mind you. It's the wife. She gets very upset if anybody's behind with the rent.
Yes, I understand.
You don't get out much, do you? From the suntan you had when you first arrived, I thought you'd be a real outdoors person.
I haven't been very well.
Yeah, I heard you coughing. These walls are as thin as paper. You're from the country?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. It's all this city air, all this pollution. You wouldn't be used to it. I'm from the country myself originally, Echuca. Like to go back there, but the wife wouldn't have it. Not that she's over fond of this place, you know. She'd like to go live in some place like Toorak, but I mean, that costs money, doesn't it? And times aren't easy.
But who was killed?
What?
The newspaper.
Oh, yeah. One of the prison staff. A bloke, apparently. Fancy a bloke working in a women's prison. I mean, it's just not right.
Was it the doctor?
No.
Bill Jackson.
Yeah, that's right. Did you know him?
Yes, I tried to phone him only last night.
Wentworth Detention Centre. Can I ask who's calling, please? Who? Oh, yes. Just a moment. Meg, it's for you.
Who is it?
Mum.
Tell her I'm not here.
Hello. I'm sorry, Mrs. Jackson isn't here. No, I don't know how you can contact her.
Was she there?
Yes. But she wouldn't talk to me.
I won't forget the fool's errand you sent me on earlier. Any more bat chat from you and you'll end up in solitary. And let's get this straight. You may think you run this place, but you don't. And the sooner you realise that, the better.
Oh, she's getting worse than bloody Vera.
Well, what do you expect? She knows one of us killed her husband. It's about time she found out who.
Frankie, are you in there?
Trouble.
Frankie, it's me, Chrissy Latham. You've got to help me. It's Bea, she's after me.
What do you expect me to do about it? Locked up in here.
Well, can't you get some of your mates to protect me?
Haven't got any mates.
Oh, Frankie, you've got to do something. Look, I helped you in the riot. They're going to kill me.
What's she picking on you for?
I told you because I helped you in the riot.
You killed Bill Jackson.
No.
I should have known the way you were carrying on. Everyone knew you had the hots for him. What did he do? Knock you back?
Well, what if he did? What's it to you?
What's it to me? I'm stuck in here while Bea's taken over because of you.
Bullshit! Bea beat you fair and square and you know it.
Yeah, well, now she's going to fix you fair and square. But I hope she doesn't kill you because I'd like to wring your bloody neck. You little bitch, just wait till I get out of here.
I should have known better than to expect help from a bull dyke like you. You wouldn't even know what it was to want a man.
Yeah, well, you won't know what it's like for too much longer. Why don't you just go off and bloody kill yourself? Save us all a lot of trouble.
Lock the door. We don't want to be disturbed, do we? Recognise these? I'm sure you do. They're very sharp. Just like the other ones. See? Remember that movie we saw on telly the other week? What was it called? 5 Branded Women, that's right. It was about these women that got off with the Nazis during the war. Afterwards, their mates shaved their heads, so everyone knew they were traitors. I suppose you could do the same thing with scissors. Of course, they might slip, take out an eye or something. Grab her.
Where is everyone?
The dormitories!
What's going on?
Well, it's Chrissy. Found her cutting up her clothes. Next thing, she's cutting up her hair. Well, we had to forcibly restrain her.
Don't give us that, Smith. You know the penalty for assaulting another prisoner.
It's true. Ask Chrissy.
Well, speak up. Needn't be afraid of Smith. You'll be protected.
Go on, love. Tell him what happened.
It was me. I killed your husband.
Is Megan here?
Yes, she's just taken Chrissy Latham in.
I hear they found out it was Latham who did it. Do they know why?
She didn't say, but with her it's not hard to guess.
You say when you first picked up the scissors, you had no intention of stabbing Bill Jackson.
That's right.
Well, what did you intend to do with them?
I meant to stab her.
What made you change your mind?
It wouldn't have done any good. He still wouldn't have wanted me.
That's why you stabbed him.
Yeah. Well, you don't know what it's like, do you? Locked up night after night without a man.
Oh, thanks to you, I'm about to find out.
That's enough, Meg.
What do you mean, that's enough? It was my husband who was killed. I'm at least entitled to my say.
I said that's enough. Miss Bennett, take Mrs. Jackson out.
Meg, you're right.
Oh, fine. Just fine.
Well, at least now you know who did it.
What difference will that make? Will it bring Bill back?
Well, no, but every time you have to deal with one of the girls, you won't be wondering whether she was the one.
That doesn't doesn't alter the way I feel one little bit. They all knew who did it, but did any of them come forward? No, not one. Instead, they tortured, they terrorised her. They probably would have killed her if we hadn't stopped them, but they still wouldn't tell us why. Oh, they're worse than animals.
You know, if they hadn't scared us, she'd never have confessed. We wouldn't have been able to prove a thing.
Stay with Latham, would you? I'm going to arrange to have her transferred to another prison. We'll keep her in solitary until she's moved. We can't ensure her safety here.
Oh, yes, we must look after her safety, mustn't we?
I think it might be a good idea if you took the rest of the day off.
No, thank you.
Now, look, I've gone along with you coming back against my better judgment. It isn't working out. You shouldn't be here, Meg. Go home, and that's an order.
Mum? Well, it doesn't look like she's home. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Mum? No, she's gone out.
Well, it's probably just as well. I guess it wasn't such a good idea, me coming here after all. Where do you think she is?
Oh, I don't know. Her uniform's gone. She must have gone to work.
To the prison? Oh, gee, if I were her, I could never go back there.
Well, you're not me, are you?
Why, Mum? You haven't met Donna, have you?
No, I haven't.
I came to say how sorry I was, Mrs. Jackson.
Thank you.
I wondered if there was anything I could do to help. Shopping? Cooking, maybe?
No, there's nothing anybody can do.
No. Well, I suppose I'd better go. I've got a lot of homework to do.
Yes. Yes, I think that would be for the best. Thank you for coming.
Oh, that's okay. I'll see you tomorrow, Marty.
Yeah, okay.
They found out who stabbed your father. Well, don't you want to know who did it?
I wouldn't know her. The name wouldn't mean anything to me. It was just one of the prisoners.
Yes. Yes, they're all the same to you. Well, we can go ahead with the funeral arrangements now. Wasn't much of a turnout. Would have thought that Vera and some of the others could have come.
Someone had to work. I think it's time we were going.
Yes. I'm really sorry, Meg. We're all going to miss him. I'll give you a lift back if you like.
Thanks. Take as much time off as you like, Meg. If there's anything you need, just give me a ring.
I'll be in this afternoon.
Well, come to my office when you do.
Come on, Mum.
Suppose you realise your rent's overdue?
Yes, I'm sorry. I've been busy. The money's in my room. I'll get it now.
Yes, mind you do. We don't allow credit here.
Hey, take it easy. She's just come from a funeral.
Yeah, I'll bet. They can tell you anything, can't they?
It's true. That fella Jackson, the one who was killed in the women's prison, well, Mrs. Brooks knew him.
She was probably one of his inmates.
Oh, come off it. Does she look like an ex-con?
Well, how come she knew him then? And she better sharpen herself up bringing that money back too.
Mrs. Brooks? Mrs. Brooks? Mrs.
She's had a nasty crack on the head, but her pulse is okay. There's nothing broken. Look, will you leave her things alone and go and call an ambulance?
For once in your life, try and act a bit smart. See this? It's from someone called Watkins. Lives in Black Rock. They must have money. Maybe they'd pay to find out where she is.
Oh, they can't care that much. Otherwise, they wouldn't let her live in a place like this.
Maybe if you cared a little more, we wouldn't have to live here. I'm gonna call them. There's no reply.
We'll phone an ambulance.
No. I'll call again later.
What if she dies?
She won't. You've seen her. She hardly ever goes out and never brings any food home. She's just weak from hunger. She'll be all right.
What if she isn't?
Then who's to know the difference?
Off in the paddy wagon. Where to? I don't know, fairly, I suppose. Oh, well, good riddance to her.
Yeah. It was a good job she decided to own up.
Quieten down.
Doreen, turn that television set down. Lynn, you're wanted in the governor's office.
What is it about my appeal?
How should I know? Go and find out. Well, Doyle? I'll leave you with your friends.
Hello, sweetie. Did you miss me?
Bugger off.
Told you before I like a challenge. Just remember, you're not as tough as you think you are.
Neither are you. B. Smith just proved that.
I'm glad to see you're all enjoying yourselves. When did you get out of solitary, Doyle?
Just now.
Well, watch yourself or you'll be back in there. And that goes for the rest of you.
Come in. Lynn, I've had an answer to your request for an appeal. I'm sorry, but it's been turned down.
It can't be.
I'm sorry, but it has. You have no grounds for retrial.
But I have. I'm innocent.
Have you any new evidence?
No, I told them everything at the trial.
And the jury didn't believe you. Unless you can present something new, there is nothing that can be done.
But there must be something. You can't keep me locked in here forever.
You will serve your sentence here like everybody else.
No, I won't. I won't stay here.
You do.
You can't keep me here.
That will be enough. You may go.
You back so soon?
Yes, the funeral's over. You would have known that if you'd been there.
Stop running, Warner! She's just been to the governor's office about her appeal. Obviously not good news.
Oh, Meg, sit down. I rather expected you'd want to take the whole day off.
Is that why you wanted to see me?
In a way, yes. You said to me the other day you wished you had resigned ages ago.
Well, that was before. Before what happened?
Yes, but I've been speaking to the department. You will be receiving substantial compensation.
Well, that won't bring Bill back.
No, but it will mean you won't need to work.
Are you asking me to resign?
I think it would be in your best interests.
Well, you're not qualified to make that
Meg,
decision.
I have been watching you after the last few days, and if you carry on the way you're going to end up with a nervous breakdown.
That isn't why you want me to resign. You don't want me here because I remind you of the mess you caused by allowing B. Smith in with the others when she should have been in solitary. Well, I'm not going. I'm not going to make it easy for you. And if you sack me, I'll tell the whole world why.
Meg! Blast